Imagine if your brain didn't filter anything. Every sound, color, face, smell, and random intrusive thought would slam into your consciousness all at once like a YouTube autoplay playlist gone rogue. That's reality without your brain's do not disturb mode. The truth is, your brain lies to you all the time by filtering out most of what's actually happening. Right now, it's probably ignoring the feeling of your socks, the background hum of your fridge, and the fact that you're staring at a glowing rectangle pretending to be productive. This mental spam filter is called selective attention, and it's the reason you don't short circuit every time you walk into a grocery store. Without it, every color and sound would demand equal importance. The beeping cash register, the smell of oranges, the sound of someone's kid singing Baby Shark again. You'd be on the floor in 10 minutes. So your brain edits the world into something manageable, like a badly cropped movie. You think you're seeing reality, but really you're watching the highlight reel, a version your brain's PR department thought you could handle. Basically, you're not delusional, you're just running a very efficient hallucination. Your memories are not photographs, they're more like those AI-generated faces that look almost real until you notice one eye is melting. Every time you remember something, your brain actually rebuilds it, using old data, assumptions, and emotional vibes, and then confidently files it back under definitely happened. It's like rewriting a diary entry every time you read it. Psychologists call this reconstructive memory, and it's your brain's way of protecting your sense of identity. If you remembered everything perfectly, every embarrassing comment, every awkward silence, every mistake, you'd probably just curl up and refuse to leave the house. So your brain gives your past a little Photoshop treatment. Maybe that argument wasn't that bad. Maybe your joke at the office party actually did land. It smooths over the cringe to keep you functional. Ironically, this means that your entire sense of self, your life story, is basically a fan fiction written by your nervous system, a touching, occasionally inaccurate adaptation of You, the series. Ever tell yourself, it's fine, everything's fine, while the metaphorical house burns down around you? Congratulations, you've met denial, the psychological equivalent of putting duct tape over a warning light. Denial isn't stupidity, it's a survival feature. Your brain knows when you can't emotionally handle something all at once, so it just shelves it. Like when a hard drive skips over corrupted data, your mind quietly whispers, let's deal with that later, and pushes it deep into the mental junk drawer. People in denial aren't ignoring reality out of choice. They're protecting themselves from emotional overload. It's the difference between I can't handle this and I refuse to handle this yet. The brain figures that if it can buy you some time, maybe you'll be stable enough to process the disaster later, preferably with ice cream and a therapist. So next time you're saying, it's fine, through gritted teeth, remember, your brain is trying to save your sanity with a lie. It's kind of sweet, in a horrifying way. Your brain is basically running a 24/7 propaganda campaign for Team You. It constantly overestimates how awesome your future will be. You'll be happier, richer, healthier, cooler, and quietly downplays the odds of disappointment, illness, or failure. Because if you actually calculated the statistical likelihood of success for everything you do, you'd never get out of bed. This is called optimism bias, and it's one of the weirdest mental tricks evolution ever came up with. It's your brain's way of making sure you keep moving, even when life is objectively a dumpster fire. If you've ever said, next week I'll be productive, or this time the diet will work, congratulations, you're using optimism bias. It's like your brain giving you a participation trophy before you've even played the game. Sure, it makes you delusional, but it also keeps you alive and striving, a delicate balance between confidence and cosmic irony. Basically, you're a hopeful little liar and your brain is your biggest enabler. Let's say you believe you're a good person, but then you cut someone off in traffic and flip them off. Your brain instantly panics. Wait, good people don't do that. So what does it do? It doesn't apologize, it rewrites the story. That guy deserved it, your brain says. He was driving like a maniac. Boom, problem solved, sanity preserved. That's cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable tension between your beliefs and your actions. And your brain hates tension. It will bend reality, invent excuses, and twist logic into a pretzel just to avoid admitting you might be wrong. It's like when you spend $400 on a fitness tracker that's now collecting dust and you tell yourself, it's fine, I'll walk around the house sometimes. Your mind is desperately trying to keep the I make smart choices narrative alive, even when the evidence is sitting in your junk drawer. Without this little mental magic trick, you'd constantly feel like a walking contradiction. Your brain prefers delusion over despair. It's a psychological auto-tuner, smoothing out all the dissonant notes of your behavior so your self-image doesn't collapse like a badly built IKEA chair. So next time you rationalize something dumb, remember, that's not hypocrisy. That's just your brain slapping a plot twist sticker on reality. Ever walk into a room and immediately feel like everyone's staring at you, like you're the main character in a painfully awkward teen movie? Yeah, that's your brain playing director again. This is called the spotlight effect, and it's the reason you spend an hour worrying about a coffee stain no one even noticed. In reality, everyone else is too busy obsessing over their own imaginary audience to care about yours. Your brain exaggerates your visibility because, back in caveman days, being watched was a big deal. If others noticed you doing something stupid, it could mean social rejection, and rejection used to equal death. So your ancient lizard brain still acts like every trip, slip, or awkward wave could get you exiled from the tribe. The truth? Nobody cares. You're the main character only in your own sitcom. Everyone else is starring in theirs. It's kind of comforting, actually. Everyone's too self-conscious to notice you. The universe is one big circle of people pretending they're being watched. Basically, you're not being judged. You're just stuck in a shared hallucination of self-importance. Dreams are like your brain's weird late-night art projects, abstract, confusing, and sometimes uncomfortably honest. They're your subconscious trying to take out the trash, except sometimes the trash starts talking and tells you your ex is a snake. When you sleep, your brain goes into a process called emotional regulation. It replays the day's emotional highlights, fears, regrets, crushes, that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago, and organizes them like files. Except it's not neat, it's more like a toddler with a glue stick. Dreaming helps you make sense of experiences without getting overwhelmed. It's your mind's way of safely simulating feelings, practicing reactions, and occasionally, yes, reminding you that you once forgot pants in public. People who are sleep deprived often start losing touch with reality because their brains literally need dream time to reset emotional circuits. It's like skipping your mental software update and wondering why everything's glitching. So yeah, your dreams are weird, but that's just your psyche cleaning out the junk drawer. Nightmares? That's the deep clean. Basically, your brain uses REM sleep to keep you from rage quitting existence. Ever cried at a commercial or felt irrationally angry at your phone for freezing? Congratulations, you've met your emotional smoke alarm system. Emotions are your brain's early warning system. They flare up before logic even has time to clock in. Anger means something's unfair. Fear says danger, maybe don't. Sadness means something valuable is gone. But here's the trick. Your brain overdoes it on purpose. Like an oversensitive fire alarm that screams when you make toast, your emotional brain, specifically your amygdala, would rather trigger false alarms than miss a real one. It's why you overthink a text message or feel dread before a presentation. These emotional overreactions keep you from getting too close to chaos. Without them, you'd be fearless, reckless, and probably extinct. So next time you think, why am I overreacting? Your brain's just doing routine safety drills. Sure, it's annoying, but it's also the reason you haven't walked straight into traffic while daydreaming about revenge scenarios. Basically, your emotions are dramatic, but they're also the unpaid interns keeping you alive. You ever stare at clouds and see faces, or decide that a random inconvenience happened for a reason? That's not you being deep. That's your brain desperately manufacturing meaning like a conspiracy theorist with a corkboard. Your brain hates randomness. It's biologically allergic to chaos. If things don't make sense, your mind starts frantically connecting dots that may or may not exist. This little trick is called apophenia, the tendency to see patterns or intent in meaningless noise. Back in ancient times, this was actually useful. If you thought that rustling in the bushes might be a tiger, you'd live longer than the guy who said, "Relax, it's probably the wind." Evolution rewarded paranoia. And so, thousands of years later, we're still trying to give cosmic significance to every coincidence, breakup, and missed bus. Your brain needs the illusion of control, that things happen for reasons, even if the reason is nonsense, because the alternative, that life is a chaotic simulation held together by caffeine and gravity, is just too depressing. So yeah, when you tell yourself it's fate that you spilled coffee right before your meeting, that's your brain patching reality to stop you from screaming into the void. Basically, your mind's a full-time screenwriter, turning random events into emotional fan fiction. Here's a fun existential crisis for you. There is no singular you. Your brain isn't one unified thing, it's a committee of squabbling subsystems, each yelling over the other. One part wants to eat cake, another wants to diet, and a third just wants to scroll memes until 3 a.m. The only reason you feel like one person is because your brain invented a narrator to tie the chaos together. That narrator, the sense of self, is what neuroscientists call the self model. It's like your consciousness is constantly live streaming a fake behind the scenes documentary where you're both the star and the editor. This illusion is crucial. Without it, you'd experience reality as a jumble of disconnected thoughts and sensations, basically a browser with 400 tabs open and no idea which one's playing music. Your sense of me is your brain's neat little packaging system, keeping the whole operation coherent. It's a survival mechanism, not a metaphysical truth. So when you say, "I'm losing my mind, joke's on you," there wasn't one mind to lose in the first place. Basically, you are your brain's favorite hallucination.